G'day guys, Googs here. Time to be a bit contentious again. Um, as you've probably come to realise, these videos are as much made for me fine-tuning and honing my own thoughts and arguments, or at least I hope you'd realise that, as they are about um, being that this is the only truth. And as I keep saying to people, you go check out other sources, because to be quite honest, I'm not the arbiter of all that is true. I have ideas and I put them on the internet. So, here's one. Why is there all this push for equality? And I don't ask that in a nasty sense. I'm not asking that to jilt or jolt you. But what's the principle here of equality? When we talk about, for example, once again, I'm going to mention the homosexual marriage idea. And people go, equality, 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 or is it freedom? Freedom of choice. Well, if you put it in terms of equality, you're saying these people are becoming equal to. They can still choose not to get married. Does that make them less equal if they choose not to take that option? Hmm. Does it? Are heterosexual people who choose not to get married suddenly lesser than the homosexual people who do get married? Or are we talking here not essentially about equality, but a freedom, an act of freedom, a freedom of choice? That we are saying to the homosexual community, have this choice that everybody else has, by the way, that you can now have as well. Feel free. You're free. You're free from that burden of not being able to have that choice, that freedom. I find it rather disturbing that everything's equality now. Everything has to be equality, 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 equality. Not freedom and freedom and freedom and freedom. When uh, laws were passed, work laws were passed in the 1960s that said no one can discriminate against you for work, whether you're an Aboriginal, African, Chinese person, woman, whatever it was. Religion, race, sex, sexuality is no longer an issue. Um, was that equality or was that freedom? You are now free to join the market, the employment market. You are free to start your own business. You are free to just do whatever you want. You know, the problem I'm finding with this whole idea of equality is it's setting up a dynamic which I would hope that most of us have noticed, and that is you're setting a bar. You're essentially saying that white people, white men, or in the case of homosexual marriage, um, uh, heterosexual couples, have this bar set. Uh, this metaphoric bar set, metaphysical metaphoric bar set, and that's the standard. All right, and you've got to reach that standard. You've got to reach that goalpost, and it's not so, because just because someone's got the freedom to do something doesn't mean they're going to succeed or even do that thing, because they've got the freedom to choose. They've got the freedom to decide for themselves what the hell they wish to do. Okay? The whole idea of equality to me, this whole brass ring sort of idea, um, you've got to be, everyone's got to be equal to everybody else. Women have to be equal to men, um, whites to blacks, Chinese to whites, whatever it is. It's a load of crap. Once those laws came in, it was then up to the people to move. Now, I'm not saying with this, by the way, that there aren't bigots. Of course, they're bloody bigots. There will always be bigots on all sides, mind you. This whole notion that only whites can be racist or only men can be sexist or whatever it is crap. Let's bury that one right now. A bigot is a bigot. I don't care what stripe you are, of whatever you are, okay? I don't care right now if you're a purple alien that doesn't like humans. you're still that's a bigot too. Yes, but there's getting less and less of them, and they are being pointed out every time they put their heads up. And the funny thing is, this is must be, you know, for my mind, it's very real. You think about it when somebody comes out and actually publicly comes out and, you know, calls a black person the N word publicly and in anger. That person, we are shocked by that. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, mate? No, you can fuck off. We don't want to know you exist. All right? They get hounded, and rightfully so, because it's not that usual anymore. It's not like we're back in the 1920s, you know, or prior to that, you know, prior to the American Civil War, and in the case of Australia, probably the 1970s, or even the 80s. Racism is becoming less and less of an issue. It's becoming a bigger issue now that everybody's focusing on it, and suddenly it's everywhere again. Is it? Probably not. But hey, it's all you see in the news, so it must be, right? Love the mainstream media picking and choosing its stories. Once again, they need to make money, and that's how they make money. They make money by uh, using us simple folk and selling us stories to make us go, oh my god, the world's ending. But you know, these things are actually becoming less and less predominant in our society. It still exists, but this whole idea of equality, everyone needs to be equal, it can't work because we're dealing with a society of individuals. And I hate to go all libertarian on you, but that's the reality. You know, in Australia, we've got 24 million individual people. Okay, and they're going to do whatever they want. You know, even break the law. That's why we have laws, because people break them. You know, people do bad things, but they're free to do that. There's consequences to those actions, of course. So let's stop focusing on the equal part of equality and start thinking of the word freedom. Individual freedoms, individual rights of freedom. Okay? The word equality is now starting to become, and I feel, an attempt to collectivize everybody and say, well, everybody has to be equal. No, they don't. And they can't be. So let's concentrate on the individual freedoms idea for everybody, and stop creating these wonderful little societal metaphysical bars that don't exist in the air. Not everyone's going to be a rocket scientist. Most of us are going to work 9 to 5, slaving away for, you know, 5 figures a year. That's just the reality. I'm Googs, and let's increase our freedoms and not work towards equality, but work towards a freer society for our individuals to make their own damn choices. I'm Googs. Uru.